My name is Ray McElroy, and I had the privilege, the honor, and the good fortune of spending 6 years playing professional football in the National Football League. Being an NFL professional football player, I know what it's like to achieve at the highest levels. I know what it's like to have to produce under immense pressure, and I know what it's like to have your performance being scrutinized at every step of the way. I also know what it means to be knocked down by life, to endure setbacks and opposition, and the challenge to overcome those obstacles in order to obtain the ultimate goal.
Ray was contacted by someone in the refinery to come out and speak at a salaried employee dinner meeting. And this was a meeting where we were bringing all of our salaried people together and talking about accomplishments and really trying to bridge that into the future and what we wanted for the refinery and the people.
You know, Ray McElroy is a very dynamic young man, and I think he brings his experience and passion to his presentation. And I've been involved in a number of his presentations. I've worked with him in putting on presentations for my own company, and he really brings a very special presence to his audience, to the space, and does a good job, grabs people's attention, brings them in, keeps them close to the topic, and he does a wonderful job.
Ladies and gentlemen, are y'all getting the picture? Now all I saw was Garrett and Blake. But big old Doug right there, all he saw was me. So I'm running down the field, full speed now. All right, Garrett steps up, Blake step up, Doug step up. They hit me at the same time, and folks, they hit me so hard. Come here, Blake. They hit me so hard, y'all, my body went from going this way to this way. Yeah. Yeah. These dudes, yeah, drove me down to the ground. Hey, Chris, my feet was all in the air, just like this.
You know, I wasn't the biggest guy. I wasn't the fastest guy. I wasn't the most athletic guy. I wasn't that guy that you looked at and he stood out in a crowd. Our football team was terrible. We won one football game in 2 years of varsity football. Ended up being a walk-on at Eastern Illinois University, a very small, little-known university for the most part in central Illinois. I got there, nobody even knew who I was. I didn't even have a jersey number. And I overcame all of those obstacles to become not only a starter my first year, but a 4-year starter, an All-American, and ended up being the second highest draft choice in school history at the time I was drafted by the Indianapolis Colts. The reason I was able to accomplish that is because I never lost sight of my goal, I never lost sight of my dream, and I never lost sight of the vision of where I saw myself, even in spite of all of the things around me telling me otherwise.
It starts with being able to see what nobody else sees. Can you do what nobody else can? What can you control that no one else controls? And let me say this too, about vision. Hey, make it a big vision. Make it a big vision. And guess what? It ought to frighten you a little bit. It ought to challenge you a little bit. It ought to push you a little bit. It ought to intimidate you, because at the end of the day, if your vision doesn't frighten you, then it's not big enough.
What I enjoy the most about Ray's speaking is how he engages the audience, from corporation and team members to students, and you cannot not be involved in his presentation.
It was personalized, it was relevant, he was very interactive and engaging. He used some people from the audience, used humor, and blended humor with some hard-hitting facts of life that even if you were an NFL player, you could still relate to, about getting knocked down and getting back up, and just very engaging. I mean, he had the audience from start to finish.
Because in this game, you get knocked down, right? And you need a teammate sometimes to pick you up. You need a teammate sometimes to dust you off. You need a teammate sometimes to pat you on the back and say, you can do this. Keep going. You can make it. Get yourself a team. Teamwork makes the dream work.
I would heartily recommend Ray for your company or your event to help bring a message and focus to what you're trying to achieve. I think Ray, with his passion and is able to connect in a unique way with his audience, will serve real well and will help you to set the tone for whatever outing or whatever you're trying to accomplish in that group. So a big hearty recommendation for Ray and his speaking and for what you would get out of that.
I would definitely have Ray back. I give him a total unconditional recommendation and referral. He will change your organization.
And I would definitely recommend it to any corporation that's looking to motivate their team, get some good coaching to their team, and really just get some inspiration and some fuel to get them engaged, because at the end of the day, we're in the people business regardless of what industry you're in. That whatever that you manufacture or produce or sell is a byproduct of the people business. And Ray is the kind of person that can get out in front of your people and really motivate them and get them engaged to get to that next level.
To be able to walk out of, spending some time together, to think about your organization or think about your family or to think about something that's going on in your life and take a look at it from a different perspective, and seem to walk out of there with a little more strength is always a very positive thing. So absolutely, he has my unconditional support and love and testimony.
What you can do, what you do have, the skills you do possess are just as important and essential for the overall success of the team. Stop comparing yourself to this person and that person and say, you know what, I don't present like this Sally does. Or I don't have the sales experience like Dan does. Or man, I don't have the closing ability that Susie does. What do you have? What do you do? And build on that. Because guess what? If you do what you do well, folks, you're going to do well.
And if there's one thing I'm certain of, is if you want to go where you've never been before, you got to be willing to see what nobody else sees. You got to be willing to do what nobody else is willing to do. And if you're committed to doing that, you will find yourself in places where very few people, very few businesses, and very few organizations have ever been. I know these principles work. They've worked for me in my life. And that's why I'm so passionate about sharing these principles and my experiences with businesses all over the world.
Your team may consist of you and your wife. Your team, I don't know who, your team may consist of a mentor or a coach, all right? I challenge you, if you don't have a team, a strong team around you, think about who can help me, even if it's just a weekly word of encouragement. Who can I get on my team to help me accomplish what I want to accomplish? In order for me to get to the NFL, folks, I had a team around me. I had my family. I call it my 3 Fs. I had my family. I had a select group of friends, including my best friend, Michelle McElroy, my wife who's in the back. And I also had my faith. My family, my friends, and my faith. And those 3 things got me to the NFL, and they continue to guide my life. What does your team look like? You need a team.